You're now tuned in to Check Your Timeline, the official podcast for the fly, the fabulous,
and the motherfucking bossy. Because if you're not listening to this podcast,
you're not a motherfucking boss.
Okay.
Let 'em know. 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 Let 'em know.
Okay. My 3 words are sloppy, delusional, and legend. Sloppy, legend, delusional. Delusional, sloppy, legend.
Whoa. You're not talking about Aretha Franklin, are you? The fuck? Don't you ever disrespect the queen.
Bitch, Mariah Carey.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, your turn. But was that not on point, though?
It was.
Okay, like lowest of keys.
Rapper.
Bitch.
And missing.
Oh my God, but what the fuck is his name? Is yeah, but oh shit.
Fetty Wap.
Fetty, mother. Loki, that wasn't hard, bitch.
I miss Fetty. I miss him.
Babe. Well, hello, CeCe.
What's good? What up, world? Yo, Pink, we out here. What up, world? It's your girl, CeCe McFly.
Is this thing on? And this is your girl, the one and only Pink Scorpio.
Yes, and you guys are finally tuned in to the Check Your Timeline podcast. Welcome.
Yeah.
Goddammit, welcome. We're here. Wait, let's clap.
Yes. I love it. Yay.
Hey, hi, you guys. Hi, everyone out there. We want to welcome y'all to our podcast, and we have so much to talk about. Man. Oh, my God. Listen, the whole Check Your Timeline, if you guys don't understand the premise, in this day and age, we're always checking some sort of timeline.
That's right.
Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what's another? Snapchat.
Tumblr.
Periscope. YouTube is definitely a timeline, and we're always checking them. So we are going to report everything, like a whole summation of everything that we are all watching on those timelines and bringing it to your ear for an eargasm.
And just kind of making sure that we're bridging the gap between Cardi B and the Iranian nuclear agreement, and between who your civil leaders are in the Black Lives Matter movement, all the way down to what happened on the last episode of Love and Hip Hop. So, balance is
and
key.
What's that new thing we were talking about, that girl?
Who?
That investment stuff?
Oh, cryptocurrency.
Man, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, we're going to have a guest on that basically is all about empowering.
No, it's too much. We can't tell them yet.
I mean, people know what cryptocurrency is.
We can't tell them yet.
3, 2, 1. Gossip Gauge. 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 Gossip Gauge.
All right, so I was checking my timeline on Twitter, because Twitter is like one of my favorite mediums, Pink, you know that. And I saw that the Golden Globes placed Get Out, which was a great ass movie.
Okay, I just saw that too the other night.
Really?
That shit pisses me off every time I watch it. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Man, listen, that was a real ass movie, and it goes to show that the Golden Globes just was not willing to acknowledge the realness.
What kind of shit?
They want to place it in the category of musical or comedy.
Wait a minute. Was there even musical?
No, wasn't no.
Who the fuck broke out into song? Well, in the first scene, the dude who got kidnapped, was he singing? Was he rapping?
No, his ass was walking down the street trying to figure out where he was.
Right.
Trying to call the little girl and was like, yo. So what was funny about that?
Where's the musical aspect?
It wasn't no musical. It wasn't Chicago.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck.
It wasn't The Lion King on Broadway.
Yeah, that's super weird.
It wasn't Dream Girls.
Yeah.
So Jordan Peele was like, yo, it's a documentary. Because it was real as fuck. He said that on Twitter, and I had retweeted. It was funny as hell to me because that's not anything to be confused about.
Yeah, I mean, a troll for a troll. Oh, it was a comedy and musical?
Certainly.
No, what the fuck it was a documentary, bitch.
No, they're really going to put that shit in that category, bruh.
Girl.
Like, really?
Chill. Well, so for my little tidbit of Gossip Gauge. So first, I don't know if you've noticed, but as of Tuesday of this week, Eve was announced by CBS. You know, EVE.
Yeah.
EVE.
EVE.
Rough Rider. I cannot think of any of her music because she hasn't made it since I was 20.
Oh, come
That's like
on.
the only song.
Bounce.
But is that like the only Eve song?
No, she had
EVE.
what y'all niggas want.
Right.
What you want, right?
But why do I keep
Can't
just going
touch.
EVE? That's all I keep hearing.
Because the TV show made it stick in your head.
And EVE,
Shout out
I
to
don't
Missy.
even know. Anyway,
Yeah.
CBS announced on Tuesday that she's going to be replacing Aisha Tyler as a permanent host on the network's daytime talk show, The Talk.
You know,
I don't watch that shit, though. Do you watch that?
I don't watch daytime TV because I'm usually at work.
I be working. Well, even if I'm not at work, bitch.
Shout out to Eve.
Right. I'm not watching The Talk. But so either way it goes, I guess the show itself has 4 or 5 different women. And basically, she decided that she wanted to mention the Paper magazine cover for Nicki Minaj. Have you seen that? The pink cover?
I did see that cover, and I was so like,
The bitch.
okay, Nikki, come on. If you guys didn't see it, Nikki is like 3 people. It's like a Minaj. They taken, playing off of her name, Nicki Minaj.
Right.
And she's in these 3 sexy poses. One of them, she's sitting in a chair with her nipples covered with these little cute ass tassels, the same ones Janet had ripped off at the Super Bowl by Justin Timberlake. And then the other one, the other Nicki is like crouching down in front of her with her tongue out like she's about to perform the best cunnilingus of her fucking life.
Right.
And then third Nicki is standing behind chair Nicki, like ready to, watch and pounce on both.
Yeah,
of
and she
them.
also is playing with her nipples from behind. So it's
Really?
like, yeah, so
She
she's like
did
fucking
have
herself in the
Yes.
picture. So I caught the creative and I was like, yes, bitch.
Yeah.
First of all, ever since this goddamn motorsport verse, I'm like dusting off the motherfucking Nicki fandom.
I
You
liked
feel me?
it.
Because for a second there, I don't know where the fuck she went with her shit. But motorsport, that verse, she brought me back.
I liked it.
It ain't about Nicki. I'm saying all this to say that Eve decided to mention that Paper magazine cover on The Talk. And basically, let me go ahead and like read it verbatim because I want to put
quote.
it the way she said it.
Come on, quoting and quote.
She was like,
said-
I worked with Nicki. I got to know her on Barbershop. She's a nice person. She's an amazing rapper. And as a lyricist, I respect her.
Okay.
But as a woman, from my point of view, personally, I would not be able to do that. Eve, who's 39 now, says.
Shade.
I think in this climate, it's not good. I think every artist has the right to express themselves however they want to express themselves. And I respect that as well. Okay, so pause.
Wait, that was like contradictive. Every artist has the right to express themselves
The way they want
the way they want. However, I don't like what you did there.
For me personally, as I started coming up in the business, I started realizing that young girls were looking up to me and younger people were looking up to me. But Eve, do everybody on that motherfucking stage know that you used to be a stripper in Philadelphia, bitch?
I mean,
You
I'm
came
sure.
in on some Rough Rider shit with fucking like paws on your goddamn titties.
she still got the pause too.
Now
she
she's
is-
married to a motherfucking white billionaire and lives in London.
So
and
you think
shit.
that's changing her status? What the fuck is the word?
stature?
Her stature.
But did
Her
you see the
stance.
video?
Is it changing her stance?
She's really
on that?
talking like this. I'm like that. Yeah.
No, she's not. Get
Bitch,
the fuck
yes,
out of
the
here.
fuck she is.
I'm gonna watch that clip.
Ultimately, though, the tea is basically that she had that to say, and the Nicki stands came back clapping like, sis, bitch, where's your
Barbs.
music at though?
Yo, the barbs will come through on your ass. I don't know who's sharper,
Listen,
the barbs or the beehive.
I'm over here dusting my motherfucking barb fingertips off because I was ready to go off on her too. she basically had to clap back on him and was saying, for the Nicki fans, I love her, respect her, go women in hip hop. It's not my thing. I just don't think it's right personally, period. That's it.
I mean, she is, first, she
Hold
is
on,
in daytime.
go women in hip hop, bitch. So are you now not that? The fuck? Listen, Eve, you're not a talk show host. You're not some type of fucking like outsider to the goddamn culture, bitch. You were swinging on poles and got yanked off of the stage and put into a booth like a lot of these bitches. So don't be mad because Nicki actually like took a lane and fucking won with it, bitch. Lost in that lane and came back with that motherfucker out.
I mean, so do you think that women in hip hop should have like a certain level of I am a role model and I need to do this different? Because I don't know, no. I think that's a lot of pressure for somebody, but at the same time, I think it has to be balanced.
Well, so if my
daughter
daughter
has to be balanced, like totally.
If my daughter walks past a paper magazine and fucking sees that and stops long enough to stare at it to now like assign her fucking value in life to what the fuck she's looking at on the front of a magazine, I should be worried about my motherfucking parenting skills, not fucking.
I agree.
Like, role
but
model,
some parents, there are some young girls that will look at Nicki and aspire to be on paper magazine, which is not even to say it's a bad thing. It's like we were born naked,
but paper magazine's not even for children.
It's not.
So,
but you know what? In social media, we have all this information at our fingertips. Like people that would never have known what paper magazine was are able to see it now because of Instagram.
I mean, and all of that is true. And I mean, I see that where she was going in trying to basically say women need to be careful in how we're objectifying ourselves if we're going to be placing ourselves.
Who else should objectify us, man? I mean, what the fuck,
and
man?
That's the thing. We will definitely get into that later. But ultimately, the tea of that was she fucking tried it. Nicki fans clapped back at her ass, and she low-key may have lost a little respect for me because now I'm like, bitch, did you forget where the fuck you came from?
She did.
The fuck? I was cool with Eve. Like, she done went, found her a boss nigga, became a billionaire, left the country.
You know E. Jeffries.
Chill. No, child, not real life, child. But if I did, Eve, I would tell you straight like this, sis. But how do you sound? Like, but so for all of the goddamn ex-stripper hoes, all of the Cardi B's and shit, who do way more raunchy shit, way more like questionable shit online.
Hold on, because Cardi recently said that she was going to be more mindful of her own behavior because she is now a role model.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Well, but you're not a role model.
I think it's like wanting to just
say, little bitch, you can't fuck with me if you wanted to.
Yes, come on, preach. I received that.
My daughter's not.
I felt that on a spiritual level when she said that shit.
They're not.
Say, little bitch. Sorry, y'all.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so
take me there. I'm sorry.
You know, what you got?
Well, you know what? The last thing that I actually saw, we like to talk about culture vultures a lot in this time, in this climate that we're in.
Yeah.
And I actually witnessed the culture vulture online, and I retweeted it, of course, because like I said, Twitter is my shit. Mm-hmm. And I saw a girl who posted on her Instagram. Her name was Gogi Knows Best, and she posted a picture of herself with drawn on vitiligo and freckles, and she was mimicking the vitiligo of Winnie Harlow. Winnie is the shit, and Winnie is a model because she gets so much notoriety because she has vitiligo. Mm-hmm. That was a struggle in her life growing up. Everybody was slamming doors in her face, and then all of a sudden it opened up because this is this unique woman. As a model, they always want a certain unique flavor about you.
Exactly, a look.
So is mimicry flattery? Because I wasn't flattered by her, replicating Winnie's
skin disease that she has,
disorder. So what the fuck are you doing, ma'am?
Right.
But some people would have taken that as, oh, I'm flattered. I don't think Winnie was flattered.
Yeah.
I for damn sure wasn't flattered.
I'm never the bitch that says imitation is flattery. I hate that shit. Bitch, be your own person.
When I asked though, because I have to ask, I was like, yo, are y'all flattered or offended, or do you feel like, when you see somebody mimicking you? And I was told by a few people it's subjective. It depends on the person.
Okay.
Which I think is still like,
Well, so here's my thing. Even if I love you, even if you're my sister, still rock your own shit. Like, I like to think that I put a lot of work into my aesthetic and the way that I come across. Like, you should do the same. So, like, you know, the girls
It's
who
like
like
single white
you had this
female-ish.
hairstyle, so now they got to get this hairstyle. You got this nail color, so now they got to get